Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and I'm so excited to be finally talking about spoilers on this channel for the Avengers Infinity War. Let's get straight into it because there's so much to talk about, OMG. So basically, I'm not going to go through all of the plot points of this film. I don't want to give everything away because if I did go through everything, this video would be 5 hours long. So I don't want to do that. So let's get into it right now. So basically this film starts off with kicking you in the gut, plain and simple. It really sets the tone throughout the whole movie. I loved the way they started this movie. Although I kind of felt like at the end of Thor Ragnarok, the Asgardians had such a great victory. Asgard are the people, it's not a place, and they have their victory for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden Thanos comes in and just kills all of them. So I just find that pretty sad. They had their 5 minutes of victory from Hela and then destroyed. Really good part of the first 10 minutes is like it sets the tone for the movie, like straight up. The Russo brothers were not messing around. So I actually really enjoyed this scene for a few reasons. One being the little Easter egg they had for the first Avengers is when Loki was like to Thanos, "We have a Hulk." If you remember, that's exactly what Iron Man says to Loki in the first Avengers, which I thought was really good. There was a bit of continuity in this film, bit of Easter eggs previous, so I thought that was really good. And basically when Hulk and Thanos start fighting, and then Ebony Maw was pretty much like, let him have his fun. That just demonstrated how tough Thanos is, and he just kicked his ass. It really kicked Hulk's ass. It straight up makes you feel really bad because Loki dies and you feel really sad. You feel bad for Thor, especially after like everything that they've been through together. I didn't expect it to be that sad. It just put all the other movies like into perspective. Like even though he was doing all that, he tried so hard to be the bad guy and it just never worked out for him. So you just feel really bad. Yeah. Poor darling. So this scene also introduces the Black Order. I loved Ebony Maw from the start. I thought it was fantastic. The voice actor was great too. I didn't expect him to have that kind of high-pitched voice. And then with the rest of them, I don't know, they didn't really do much for me. Proxima Midnight, we had a bit of a CGI face. I don't know if you watched my no spoiler video, but that was the character who I was talking about. Pretty much the Black Order in general who were very like, wasn't on point. There was this close-up at one point of Proxima Midnight's face in Wakanda, and it didn't jive with me. I didn't think it was that good. Other parts of the film that I really enjoyed was any scene that you watched on Titan. I thought they were some of the best scenes in the whole film. Anything that happened on Titan with Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Peter Quill, yada yada yada. I particularly loved Doctor Strange in this film and the role that he played. He was the person that basically drove the bus in those scenes. So by using the time stone, he looked to the future and he looked at like 14 million different possibilities to see if they ever won anything against Thanos, and he only saw one. So in his mind, he did everything that they had to do to make Thanos lose, and even though he would win, but it would ultimately end up with him losing in the future in Avengers 4, I'm guessing. So pretty much he had to actually keep Tony Stark alive. I'm pretty sure that's why he ended up giving away the time stone, despite the fact that he told Tony, if there comes to a time where I have to save you, the kid, or the time stone, I'm going to save the time stone. So I thought that whole little thing in itself was really interesting and I really loved that. Any other scene that happened on Titan I thought was absolutely excellent, like when Thanos uses the moon to throw like meteors at Iron Man. And I particularly loved when Mantis was on top of Thanos and she was using like her mind control to kind of keep him at bay. That whole scene there was really terrific. Thanos' face there I thought was amazing. It actually became really like scary looking. Side note with Doctor Strange, when he was on that circle, the donut ship, I'm just gonna call it, when he was on that donut ship with Ebony Maw, tell me no one had Harry Potter vibes that whole time. Tell me that right now. Ebony Maw looks like Voldemort, and the whole time they were on that ship, he was just like, where's the stone? And I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm watching Philosopher's Stone right now. The whole time I was watching the last half an hour of Philosopher's Stone. The only thing that was missing was the kid with glasses, that's all I'm saying. Besides the Titan scenes, there was one particular little story that I really love. Absolute favorite part of this film was everything that happened pretty much between Thanos and Gamora. I did not see that coming. I knew that their relationship would have something to do, like I guess that would have something to do with this movie, obviously because he has said in the past that Gamora was always his favorite daughter, and when they were at nowhere trying to see if Thanos got the reality stone and he was already there, and then obviously he made the reality look a bit different because he already had the stone. And it looked like he was confronting the Collector when Peter, Gamora, Drax, and Mantis, I think, got there. And then when it looked like that she killed him and you could tell her heart was broken. She obviously felt really bad that she just killed Thanos and obviously mourned for him. So I thought that was really nice. I didn't expect that to happen in this film. And I really loved the sequence where Thanos and Gamora go to Vormir, I believe it's pronounced, and they come across this cloaked figure and it turns out to be Red Skull. Mind blown. By the way, I thought the whole time that was Hugo Weaving. And I even went to whisper to my husband before it unveiled that it was Red Skull. I go, that sounds like Red Skull, as in Hugo Weaving. So when I found out afterwards that it wasn't Hugo Weaving, really good impression of Hugo Weaving as Red Skull. I thought that was great. So I thought that was really interesting to have Red Skull, a really nice touch. And then the whole thing with the, you gotta trade soul for a soul, that was heavy. That part of the film was so heavy. I loved it. And then Gamora started, like not laughing, but she was just like, oh, this is where you fail because you know you don't know love. And then when he started crying, oh my God, it got me so bad. I was like, throughout the whole sequence. That's where, if you watch my non-spoiler review, I was like, I can't believe you're sitting there feeling sorry for this guy. But during that time, my heart broke for him, even though he did the bad thing and ended up killing Gamora. Very unexpected from my end, and I enjoyed that whole sequence very much. In my non-spoiler review, I talked about how there was this group that I was kind of disappointed in, a few characters in particular, and that is Captain America, Black Widow, Falcon, etc., whoever was in that group. I felt like they didn't contribute much to the film and I was just disappointed because it's Captain America. You think that, you know, he's gonna do something, but perhaps they did it because he'll be more in the second film and they wanted to let other characters kind of have their own spotlight in this movie perhaps. The one thing I did like though is that despite the fact he had ripped all the symbols off his outfit and he's not an Avenger anymore, I liked that every time it focused on Captain America, it always played the Avengers theme in the background, like the very start of it, like you know that part? That was terrible. But it always played that music whenever it focused on Captain America. So to me, I took it as though you can take Captain America out of the Avengers, but perhaps you can't take the Avengers out of Captain America. He still had that same thing about him that made him so good in the event, that made him so Captain America-like. He was still the same. He's just not, he just didn't want anything to do with the government anymore and all that stuff. So that's what I took of it. Another thing that kind of grinded my gears slightly, the Hulk was nowhere to be seen. He was scared to come out because of Thanos, and I'm under the impression that in the comics, when you fight with Hulk, he just gets angrier and angrier. That's why he's like so crazy strong. That's what I'm under the impression of. Obviously, if that's true, they changed that for the film. I prefer Hulk that way, kind of just the guy that's like, you know, just like kicking everyone's ass. I kind of see what they did there with Hulk. It's kind of funny, and I liked that we got to see Bruce Banner a little bit more in this film regardless. And because I really like how Mark Ruffalo portrays him. I really like Mark Ruffalo. Like, I think he's fantastic. He was in the Hulkbuster though, which was still good, but obviously nowhere near as good if it was just the Hulk. So, one person's performance who I really enjoyed was Thor. Honestly, I thought this was Chris Hemsworth's best performance as Thor. I thought he added a lot of heart, and I really loved it every time he called Rocket Little Rabbit, or just a rabbit. Oh, I thought that was really funny, really good touch. I liked that Thor wasn't overly funny in this film, like kind of how I felt he was in Thor Ragnarok. People may disagree, but personally that's how I felt he was in Thor Ragnarok. So a lot of stuff has happened to him, and it actually looked like it did happen to him in this film. I thought it was perfect that they put Thor and the Guardians together. Oh my God, such Perfect interactions. They were the funniest parts of the film, for sure. I loved how Peter Quill was very intimidated by him, and then everyone started saying that Peter Quill had put on weight. I just thought that whole sequence was very funny. And then one of my favorite parts in this film overall as well, that moment between Thor and Rocket, when Rocket was asking him about, about his life, and then Thor was telling him about how his father died, he had to kill his sister, and he's full of revenge, and then his brother just died. And I thought that was really nice, funny and touching at the same time. I thought it was really interesting, Thor's arc throughout this whole movie. He wanted to go create a new weapon to help destroy Thanos. I don't really understand why they gave him another eye, so I don't know why he had to lose his eye in the first place. I don't know if they wanted to create like an Odin feel at the end of Thor Ragnarok because he became king officially. I don't know why they got rid of the eye patch in this. I kind of liked the eye patch, personally. I liked that touch, so I don't know why they gave him a new eye, although that whole sequence was very funny and how Rocket pretty much said that the eye was up his butt. So I thought that was funny anyway. But I just thought it was weird that they got rid of the eye patch. Like, why so quickly? That whole sequence of creating the Stormbreaker I thought was fantastic. Peter Dinklage played a giant dwarf. I thought that was so good. When Thor pretty much got blasted by that sun and he's able to survive that. It was very impressive, that whole part. So I really enjoyed that. Vision and Scarlet Witch. Ooh. The ending with Scarlet Witch and Vision was very hard to watch. My heart really broke for Scarlet Witch because obviously she had to kill the person that she loved by taking the stone out and trying to destroy the Mind Stone. It's always tough working with time travel in a movie because it's kind of like you can just reverse anything and then make it happen again, and reverse anything and make it happen again. But I thought that the way that they used the time travel in this film, it wasn't a lot, it was only a tiny bit, and it was purely just to reverse Scarlet Witch killing Vision. He came back to life, he unexploded, because he basically exploded. And then when he killed him again, I thought that was so smart. Very smart way to use time travel, I feel like. I thought it was perfect. It wasn't overdone, it wasn't too much. Because sometimes, like I said, using time travel can be a bit of a, like, selling out type thing. But obviously the time stone is what it's there for, so they got to use it. So I thought they used it in a really good way. Once Thor put his Stormbreaker into Thanos' chest, and I'm thinking, oh my god, is this how they're going to kill Thanos? Like, that's what was going through my head when I first saw it. As soon as Thanos said, should have gone for the head, and then he snapped his fingers, and I was like, oh my god, the famous snap of the fingers happened. He went into that soul world, and the way the whole sequence played out I thought was excellent. How young Gamora was there. I don't know if it was regret that you could see in his eyes, but you could see pain in his eyes when Gamora asked him what did it cost, and he said everything. Oh, it was just really heavy moments. It really got to me right here. And then obviously everyone started turning into ash. I didn't feel like Captain America reacted enough to Bucky turning into ash. I don't know if maybe he was in shock. He spent like 2 movies trying to protect him and trying to save him, and then when he turns into ash, he's just like, doesn't react. Is that something to complain about? Probably isn't. But that's what I thought when I was watching the movie. When bloody Spider-Man turned to ash, that was really tough to watch, I'm not gonna lie, because he was scared, and then Tony, you can see Tony felt responsible. Especially if you remember in Spider-Man Homecoming, where when Spider-Man was pretty much the cause of that ship splitting in half, the ferry, and then when he got in trouble with Iron Man and Tony was like, you could have killed everyone, that was on you, but if you died, that was on me. So obviously he feels like whatever happens to Peter Parker, he feels completely responsible for. Robert Downey Jr. played that part really well, and so did Tom Holland. Perfect emotional sequence. And then I had that awesome post-credit scene, which I thought probably the best one that they've used in a Marvel film so far. You had Maria Hill and Nick Fury living what Thanos did. There's helicopters crashing, there's cars crashing. I thought that was awesome to show what Thanos did and how it affected the rest of the world. Obviously, we knew that people were turning to ash, but how it happened and what was happening. Other people would have died as a cause of other people turning to ash. I thought that was really interesting to see. Samuel L. Jackson being Samuel Jackson as he was turning to ash, it was like, mother! Like, that was awesome. Is there really a Samuel L. Jackson scene without that? And then, obviously, the little cliffhanger, how he's sending a pager for a code red, and then the symbol is Captain Marvel. I thought that was just awesome. Really nice little touch makes you so excited, especially to see the new Captain Marvel movie coming out next year. Being that I've sat on this movie for 5 more days now, I still give it a 4.5. I might actually put it up to maybe a 4.6. I think I like it a little bit more now that I've been sitting on it. I've been really craving to watch it again. I want to go watch it in IMAX because it was filmed all in IMAX camera, so I'm really excited about that. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the movie as well. I just can't wait for future Marvel movies now. It's killing my soul. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe for more movie reviews in the future, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye guys.